So I just want to make a note that So today I'm going to show you how to repot chrysanthemums, also known as mums. So the supplies that we're going to need, it's just like the other video that I did on the succulents, is I have a nice little handy tray here and a 12-inch round terracotta pot and some soil. And I'll link below what type of soil that I use. And of course a small shovel so that we can put the soil in the pot. So what I'm going to do is just like I did in the previous instruction video, is I'm going to fill the bottom part and a little bit around the sides before I put the plant inside. And also I just want to note that there is a hole and at the bottom, and that is very important that you have a drainage hole. And here are my two mums, which I had shown everyone in the previous video. So we're going to go ahead today and we're going to repot. We're going to take them out of the 8-inch plastic pots and put them in the clay pots. I put my soil in one of the clay pots, and as I take the soil out, of course there will not be that much in there, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this pot also. Since I have a camera in one hand, I'm not going to be able to show you how I take the plant out of the pot. So just like before in my instructional tapes, is you usually take and try to bend the sides of the pot, and they're very flexible, and then just easily take the plant out. And once I've done that, I'll show you what the root system looks like. So I'm just going to take some soil and put it in the bottom of the pot here, and I usually use maybe 4 shovels. That's usually what I start out with, and then I add as I need it. And I don't want to put too much because there is a lot of soil in the container that the mum is in. So I'm just gonna, stir the soil around a little bit and loosen it up, because I want to have some room when I place the plant inside. And I'm putting just a little bit on the sides here, and I'm going to take the plant out and see what it looks like. I'm going to put it inside of the pot to see what we have for measurements. So this is what the root system looks like, and my main concern is what's going on underneath. And it seems to be not too matted up down there, but I'm going to loosen it up a little bit on the bottom before I place it in the center of the pot and start putting soil around it. So I just want to make a note that I really didn't need that much soil down at the bottom, so I took and spread a lot of it up around the sides, because the most important thing when I get this finally situated or positioned in the pot where I want it, I want to make sure that this top part of the plant is level or even lower than the pot itself. So when I water it, it will drain properly. So I was able to position the plant so that it's got adequate space for drainage and to fill it in. So I just want to make a note also that this process of repotting is the same process you would use for any type of pot or container that you want to put your plant in. So now all I have to do is just fill in the sides around the plant in the pot, fill it all in, and make sure that the soil is all firm around the plant so that there are no opportunities for air bubbles. So I've placed all of the soil around the plant, and I've made sure that everything is nice and firm so that there is no possibilities for air pockets, and it also will give the plant an opportunity to spread out and grow. So this plant is complete. It's all done, and I think it looks really, really good. And the placement of the plant in the pot looks very good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other pot, and when I'm done I will show you exactly what everything looks like. So my tip for today is, when you're going to use a potting soil, and I use a very rich, compact potting soil. Most of the time, most soils, the way they're packed, usually in plastic containers, they can mat up, which I mean clump up, mat and clump up. So in order to avoid getting these air pockets, it's really good that you loosen up the soil. Now you could wear gloves. I like the feels of this particular soil, and it gives me the opportunity to see if maybe there's some clumps that I may have missed. So anyway, that is a great tip. So when I proceed to put this in the pot, I will continue making sure that there aren't any big clumps so that the plant will grow and the wonderful, wonderful root system will have the capability of spreading. So that is my tip for today. So here are the chrysanthemums. They're beautiful. I love the pots, and both of them are done. So I think I'm going to leave them on the table for now and just admire them because they look like a bouquet of flowers to me. So I'll wait until I decide where I want to put them in the garden. So the other thing that I wanted to mention, and this is one of the reasons I decided to do this project, because this is a very good example of what I'm going to tell you, and that you do not need a container full of plants or full of flowers to enjoy them. Sometimes just a unique container is enough to set the stage and give the aesthetics that you are looking for. And this is particularly beautiful for me because I really love the shape of the terracotta pots, and I know that I'm going to be using these pots again and again for other beautiful plants and flowers. So I just want to make a note that my advice on mums is, most of the time in their original containers they are beginning to root bound. So it's really important to water them once or even sometimes twice a day depending on your area. And then of course you will water them once you put them in a new container. But that really is an important factor. Now I didn't fertilize my chrysanthemums because, if you've noticed in the video, there was also a time releasing fertilizer capsules. You could see them, or pellets. So I'm not going to be too concerned about fertilizing them at this point. And there is another suggestion that you can do, and I think a lot of people don't realize this, that mums are perennials. If you can get them into the ground before they've established themselves too much in the containers, to give them time for their roots to establish in the ground, you could be successful and they could come back next year. So that's my advice for today. As always, thanks for joining me, and I will see you again next time.